Hello folks, Reverend Crystal Cox here. We're reading some more today out of The Fifth World. Journey to the Fifth World. This is page 7. Okay, so according to the Mayan calendar, time will stop as we know it on winter solstice of December of 2012. Many people believe that the Mandela effect, that's when we died. So we died. That Earth's gone, and our consciousness shifted to another version of us, and so anyway, that date, people have different opinions on. I'll shut up about that. We are being given a chance to evolve out of the time and space limitations of the third dimension. The way it was explained to me by a Mayan elder is that this is not the end of the world, but the end of life as we knew it, as we knew it. Which is exactly what this great apocalypse called the lockdown, the plague, the great pause is doing. That this next era is a way of being that we have never experienced before. The past great cycle has been called the 9 Bolomtikus, Bolomtikus, which is approximately 5,200 Mayan years. Of the 13th Baktuns, Baktuns, of the 4th Ajah, Jaw, a time of learning through the 9 underworlds. These 9 levels have to do with facing energies such as greed, self-importance, selfishness, and judgment, to name a few. The world of our shadow side, no one is exempt from this experience. Even advanced medicine people and shamans have to keep facing the lower energies of their basic self and negative egos when embodied in this dimension, and more so as the temptation to misuse power is amplified. Even the holy ones who come back to assist humanity and inhabit an earthly body must be able to face the aspects of their lower nature before they can embody the higher truths. In the next great cycle, the 5th Ajah, we get to experience the 13 upper worlds, a much more divinely connected dimension. This is where we may get the chance to experience a true Garden of Eden, where we become much more conscious co-creators of our reality, remembering that the Creator is everywhere, without and within. You are all creator gods creating your reality with every thought. Just throw that in there. Of course you knew I just threw that in there. We get to heal the distortions of what has been created. The year 2012 is the arrival of the 5th Balam, B-A-L-A-M, where the union of all races, the fusion of the polarities, and the presence of a unified field of energy created by the presence of the 5th element, ether, spirit in matter, will occur. Polarity is the force or magnetic dance of energies that have sustained the physical reality of matter in the third dimension, where humanity has been living in duality. The 5th Balam will herald the time of a chance for a more evolved humanity to be birthed. This date begins the possibility of a great cycle of wisdom, harmony, peace, love, of consciousness, and the return of natural order. This does not occur overnight, but has cycles of preparatory initiations to assist us to resolve the old way of being. We are presently in this transitional period where it is becoming difficult to accept the ways of this last cycle, as well as confusing to know how to relate to the energies into which we are moving. The rules are changing, and we are not quite sure what the new guidelines are. It is the time of purification, where our beliefs and concepts about what constitutes reality will turn upside down. It is the time where we will be pushed to the edge of emotional, physical, and psychological pain to resolve the places of unlove and judgment in ourselves and in our lives. We are being asked to operate from a much more divinely aware part of our being and to trust and connect to our divine selves. The 25-year period of purification began in August of 1987, during what is known as the harmonic convergence. At this time, the new consciousness needed to start gradually awakening humanity to bring in the 5th sun, began showering us on us from the core of the galaxy through the inner sun or fire within the earth. Since then, There has been a high level of disturbances in the Earth's core as she adjusts to the higher vibration. Earthquakes, changes in weather, etc. It is ever increasing as we get closer to the time when the doorway is wide open. There will be vortexes of great intensity that our planet will be spiraling in and out of, giving us a chance to work with the fifth dimensional frequencies. Our sun is increasingly exhibiting solar flares in response to the intensity of the heavenly light that will be joining with the light from deep within the earth. And I believe this has already occurred, and this is why the sun is white. We've already moved to that reality. And, well, I'm jumping ahead of myself. I'll talk about the next thing when I read about it. It's so exciting. Okay. There has also been a greater feeling of unrest and unease in humanity in response to these energies, as we are pushed to our limits in order to complete the lessons and change the ensuing patterns of the cycle we are leaving. At this time, all worlds are coming together to give us a chance to be bathed and reborn in spiritual love and light. In the book of Revelation, it is stated that we have already gone through the 3 worlds that were destroyed because of humanity's inability to follow the tenets given for spiritual living, and that we were promised to the people of this 4th world that this world would not be destroyed again. Humanity, okay, it is humanity's own unconsciousness going to be the cause of the world's destruction at this time? Or is there going to be transformation without total destruction? A possibility of 2 worlds, 2 choices. And that's what we're doing now. We've come down to 2 choices. And we're not going to have the destruction like before. This is kind of a soft Armageddon. All of the riots and the fires and there's a lot going on, but it's not like, the potential of, you've seen the movies. Okay, 2 choices. Okay, so one choice, the holding on to old ways, and the other of expanding consciousness and opening to the new world. In order to expand consciousness, you have to vibrate higher. It's expansion. Otherwise, you just stay in the same spot. Okay. It is stated in some prophecies that when 2 suns appear, this will be a sign that another dimensional world will be forming alongside the one we have known. That's what I was excited about. Because I think it was 2017, I was in southern Florida, and I hadn't really hung out there much, and the people that I was with, I said, that's the sunset over there, right? And I'm looking the wrong direction. And they're like, yeah, that's the sunset. And I'm like, well, what's that over there? And they're like, well, that's the sunset. And I'm like, well, why? Right? There's 2 sunsets. And so they never heard that. They never saw that before. And I'd heard many reports at the time of people seeing 2 suns. So they and the sun would be different and the sun would shift. And so I believe we've already entered that. Anyway, there's the end of that story. I'm going to read that again. It is stated in some prophecies that when 2 suns appear, this will be a sign that another dimensional world will be forming alongside the ones we have known. According to some traditions, as this dimension opens, we will experience 3 days of darkness, which will be a time when it will be decided if our consciousness has evolved sufficiently to grant our entrance into the new world. But that darkness, I think it already happened. It's not literal, like the sun's not going to come up. I mean, it's not like we're in Alaska or something. And no, I don't have the Rona. I have the, I have a cough. Chronic cough. Okay. Where was I? It is possible that during this time of passage, we will go through the Bardo state without dying, akin to the death doorway, where decisions are made by the holy ones as to whether or not one is ready to birth into the 5th world. So we're ascending with our bodies. Like Elijah or some of the other stories that you've heard, the Mayans, they kind of ascended, that we don't have to die to go to the next world. So our body's changing from a carbon base to a crystalline base, and we're getting rid of all the lower frequencies and lower densities, and we're raising our vibration so that we can ascend to the 5th world. Because the heavier vibrations will not allow us to move to the 5th world. There is a sense of urgency felt by many to gather together as many of our brothers and sisters as we can to make it through the passageway. as a large majority of humanity is needed to hold open this doorway to create a new world. The choice is ours. Do we surrender to the consciousness transformation of our beings, or continue in a world of separation and ego rule that cannot truly support human life? Can we gather together enough of our brothers and sisters to make it through? The prime symbol of the Kabbalah, the Tree of Life, is the energetic representation of that which holds up the world and our individual energy fields. These are the 4 sacred trees, or 4 worlds. Each one represents an element in its highest form. Air being the archetypal world of pure divinity. Water representing the creative world of the Archangel Fire. I like that. The Archangel Fire. Okay, let me start that one over. Water representing the creative world of the Archangel. Fire representing the formative world in the angelic realm. And earth representing the material world, the world tree. As we evolve into the 5th world and incorporate the 5th element, it is possible we will activate the code of a new sacred, symbolic, and energetic tree of life, forming a more spiritually infused reality, transforming the tree of knowledge. To the Q'ero, Q and then E-R-O, the descendants of the Inca of Peru, we are moving towards the great cycle of the Taripa Pacha, which is spelled T-A-R-I-P-A-Y and then P-A-C-H-A. The age of meeting ourselves again. A golden age during which we can step more fully into our energetic spiritual bodies. So that's with the timelines collapsing, the shifting of realities. We're meeting ourselves. We're integrating all that we knew, all that we've learned in all of our different parallel lives and all of our lifetimes in our ancestral line, and we're integrating that all right now in the age of meeting ourselves again as we move into the golden age. Connecting to these most important unseen energies that make up a human is a way in which ether, spirit, in matter will be consciously embodied. Many techniques and processes which can facilitate our work with the spiritually unseen forces are appearing and being shared within the human experience. Some examples of techniques that are useful in assisting us to connect with the not so easily seen with the naked eye world of spiritual energy and guides are shamanic practices, Reiki, Qigong, chakra clearing, light body, and DNA activation, as well as breath work, to name a few. It is becoming more natural for people to acknowledge and work with these energies. We are being asked to learn how to bring more awareness and connection to spirit and to the subtle energies of life. According to the Q'ero, we are living in the midst of a 19-year period during which humanity has the potential to establish its own spiritual evolution. According to their prophecies, we have gone through a Pachacuti, P-A-C-H-A-Q-U-T-I, an overturning of space and time, beginning somewhere around 1990 to 1993, in which a cosmic reordering with human consciousness and the creative force of the cosmos occurred. This provided humanity a chance to evolve rapidly and affect positively the outcome of the future. The Q'ero call this the 5th level of human consciousness, manifest on Earth. The understanding is that many Pecos, spiritual seekers, which is P-A-Q-O-S, I love that, spiritual seekers, of any ethnic heritage or culture or religious background are needed to raise the vibrational energy of humanity to the level required to complete transformation. This process of emergence and transformation is available for all people. Many prophecies of Earth changes have stated that there would be a much worse devastation than has already occurred around the turn of the century. It is possible that because of the conscious awakening that is growing around the globe, we may have all alleviated some severity of destruction, which is exactly true. That's, I'm going to see when this was. So this was written in 2007, just so you know. And yes, we definitely did avert that. We chose something different. The mass consciousness was raised, and more people don't want war. More people want, love. And so those scales have been tipped. And so what you're seeing now with the lockdown and all that, that is the awakening. And it's going to continue for quite some time. And no one really knows how long it's going to take the masses to awaken to this, because this has never happened on Earth before. Anyway, my email for donations is bbgoddesschurch@gmail.com, and my personal email is reverendcrystalcox@gmail.com. If you would like to message me, have a great day. Goddess bless you.